Hey everybody, welcome back. Live at Drew's house, Joppa Afternoon Drive. Hope everybody is doing well out there. It is officially spring and we're going to get warmer real quickly. Can't you feel that? And with that, I bring in one of the spring coaches over at Newburyport High School. He is a Clipper. Bob Gillespe in the house. First time on the show. He's the softball coach. How are you, Coach? Good to have you.
Fantastic. Looking ready to get on the field and start playing some games.
You got the Newburyport gear. Looking good. Is that new gear this year?
This is not new gear.
Oh, it's not? old gear. All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Sometimes those are the best ones. So we got spring sports. We were actually just talking off the air a little bit. One difference, we didn't have as much snow this year. Fields are actually kind of decent, right?
Fields are ready to go. We've been practicing at Cashman to start. Our regular season fields over at Pepe is ready as well too. But with the JV and the 8th graders on the team this year, we like to have it at Cashman. It's a little closer for them to get to.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, that's good to know. We were also talking off the air, but you got March Madness back in action tonight.
Yes.
Your bracket's not quite busted.
My bracket,
we're alive.
Final Four are still all alive. So I'm in
Okay.
a good position.
That's impressive, actually. Because usually by the Sweet 16, if you got the Final Four intact, you got a chance of doing some things.
We'll see. We'll see.
There you go. It's a fun time of year, though. I do love the spring sports start for the high school. You get the March Madness. Winter sports at the pro level are all finishing.
Hockey, go Bruins.
Yeah, go Bruins. They're having quite the year.
Yes, they are.
So what's I hear through the grapevine that you had quite the turnout for softball this year. Is that accurate?
We had the largest number. We had over 30 kids come out this year, which is the largest number actually since lacrosse has been introduced into the high school.
Wow.
So it's good. Great young kids coming out. We had a large group of 8th graders coming out this year.
Yeah.
For JV, which is fantastic. It's
a
good sign for the future of softball.
It is. That's a good deal. I mean, it must make it a little bit harder because I'm sure you got some people fighting for positions, right?
Absolutely. For varsity, I have my whole returning team back.
Is that right?
12 returning kids back, yeah.
No kidding.
So we'll add a couple and go from there. We're very excited about the season, to say the least.
So you get to field the whole JV team, which not every program gets to do, right?
There's several of them that don't. I know Ipswich isn't having one. Georgetown, a lot of the smaller schools aren't having one.
Yeah.
And we were in that group for 2 years as well, too. Of course, the season with COVID was canceled.
Right.
That lost a little bit of the steam going into the next couple seasons. But
Yeah.
we've built it back up.
What was the smallest turnout you ever had?
18 girls.
18?
Yeah.
So you're still going to get. You just keep everybody on the varsity
That's
team.
exactly what happened last year, and it was. It felt bad for a lot of those kids. Didn't get a lot of playing time.
Yeah.
We tried to make up games, call it JV games, but we played on Saturdays against some other towns that were looking to make some games up themselves.
Gotcha. Okay, so you kind of worked in a little bit of a GV schedule, even though it wasn't technically JV.
Correct.
Only so many positions and only so many innings in a game, right?
So true. So true. Sometimes there's too many innings, and sometimes there's not enough.
Yep, no doubt. What's there are some obstacles. I mean, even I remember jumping into spring sports. I mean, we can still get. I think I just heard there might be some snow flurries this weekend.
I heard Saturday might be some snow flurries.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you probably remember. I don't know. You probably had games scheduled in snowstorms over this. You would have been there 8 years. Is that right?
Yeah, started in 2016.
Yeah, you're a veteran coach in this league now. You've played in some conditions.
Yeah, I think right now I'm the longest term coach in the Cal for softball.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
A few of them just dropped out. Linfield's done, and Jackie Waters is not in Amesbury anymore.
Oh, okay. So there you go.
Yeah.
You're the. What does that get you?
I'm the old man. Gets me nothing.
Gets you with all sorts of respect.
Yes, sure.
But I mean, what's the worst conditions you ever had? Was it just cold early in the season, or do you remember?
Cold. I mean, you get there where you can go from 40 degrees one day, and the next day will be 75. So it's cold, wet.
Yeah.
If the rain comes in, it's a problem. And the season is so condensed. You really have to. If it rain out, you're supposed to play the next open day.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of different things going on. So the important thing is good weather and get the games in.
Is that the rule? I didn't realize that they want you to try to schedule it
the next opening day. Yeah, and it's available for there's 2 teams, so both have to have their opening day. So if you miss a game on Monday, which we usually play Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays is the Cal schedule, and then our out of conference games,
right?
We can mix them in as well too.
So you got I mean, it is a short season too. Spring has that weirdness of like
short season, and it's always a little tricky because you got proms in there. You got seniors are graduating, so the focus can toward the end of the year can wane a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say that because you tell me you got a whole returning squad. I imagine a whole lot of those are seniors.
Their focus will not wane. No, actually only 4.
Oh, only 4.
I have a large junior group.
Oh, wow.
Sophomores and some freshmen. I mean, so
you guys are ready to make a little run over there?
We are hopeful. Listen, 2 years in a row we made the States, which is good.
Yeah.
This year we hope to make a little longer run in the States, which is
all right.
It's not going to be easy because there's a lot. Even in the Cal, there's some teams that are very good.
Yeah. What have you done with those senior teams in the past? With really senior heavy? Is it because I remember that? What do they call it? They still call it the senior slide.
Senior slide. Yeah. You know, when I used to coach in New Jersey 1 year, that was very senior filled, and they were dedicated and really into it. So we made a long run, did very well.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're right. And it's not all the girls, but you're going to lose some kids that are going to,
Yeah.
They start showing up with their nails being done for prom and all that stuff. So.
Maybe you're already into the college you want to go to.
That's the other thing too. College is, and it's hard to blame them. And it's not just softball. It's all spring sports.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things that enter into this kid's mind besides sports.
Weather gets warm, beach day.
Beach day.
You know that.
And we just happen to live near a beach. So,
how about that, right? Did you say New Jersey? What is the background? You not born here, or
no? I grew up in Reading.
Oh, okay.
And I moved to Newburyport in 2013. Coached over at NECO for a few years.
Okay.
And then the position opened here at Newburyport, so I started there.
8 years later, here you go.
Coached I've been coaching since 2000, so I coached down in New Jersey for quite a while. Gotcha.
What's the biggest change from a decade ago with the 2023 kids? Is it social media or what that sort of what would you say? What have you've seen some things? I would say.
I mean, a lot of things. The amount of time these kids are playing sometimes is a lot different than it was back. Travel ball, it's really added a whole new thing to high school sports, good and bad. Sometimes kids put too much reliance on the travel ball versus the high school.
Yeah.
So it can be a trick or dribble at times, but these kids on the team this year are really good. It's that they're playing a lot more, and the equipment's more expensive, and their training is better too. These girls, they're in the weight room all off season, lifting and all that stuff.
Yeah. Are you one of those? Softball is one of those sports you see in baseball too. Some of those kids can be specialists. You end up being in one sport, especially growing up. Would you advocate for the multiple sports?
Multiple sports.
Yeah,
I'm a large advocate of that. I think that it gives the kids different experiences.
Yep.
To do that, and also. I think it minimizes the risks of injuries. That repetitive motion to the same, type of body joints, your legs. Girls playing soccer get a lot of knee injuries. They're playing that all the time. So sometimes mixing it up is good. And I think college coaches like that too. They like to see the versatility of kids.
Yeah, I hear more and more college coaches talk about that. How they sometimes look for it's the red flag sometimes if it's only the one sport.
Right. And there are some girls that can play other sports, and would do very well, but they choose sometimes to stay with the one.
Yeah, if you're Tiger Woods, maybe you stay with golf. But other than that might be the exception, right?
Yes.
Again, Coach Bob Gillespe joining us, the head varsity softball coach over at Newburyport. He is a Clipper, and he's got himself a upperclassman team, not quite seniors, but juniors. You said heavy on the juniors this year, so that should be fun. When do the schedule? I know you guys are already off and running. Tryouts in the books. Is that every coach I talk to? I know the deal with this. Do not like the tryout period because it's stressful, right? Trying to figure out who makes the team, who gets cut.
It can be stressful. I mean, especially when I have basically my whole returning team coming back. So, but it's not only that. It's the planning when you have 30 kids versus a small number of kids. What kind of drills do you do, and then you have the ability level. Some kids don't have the ability to catch someone who's throwing the ball really hard.
Yeah.
So you have to be aware of that, prevent injuries and things like that. So that could be a little stressful.
Even just while running the tryouts, right? I mean,
Right,
yeah.
absolutely, because we're out in the field. We're using real balls and everything, and the kids, some haven't played a lot.
Yeah.
We welcome all because we teach them to play. So.
And the season comes up on you so quickly. A lot of these kids were playing winter sports just a week ago, and then they had to shift. Like maybe you haven't thrown a baseball in a while, or I remember those days. You're playing third base. Let's go take some infield. You hadn't seen a ball, since last season, and that thing comes at you quick. All right.
We try to run a little winter training for a week or so. Some parents get together and do that, and they had almost every kid came out for that. So
that's good. Just to kind of get a feel for it again.
Yeah, just to get the throw, loosen up, get some swings before everything starts.
Cool. Well, that's but I mean, the season is a rapid fire. Is it important for you, especially when you think you get yourself a good team that can maybe make a run? Let's get out of the gates strong here. I imagine that's a big coaching point.
Always, you want to start strong. Unfortunately, we open up with North Reading, who's usually a powerhouse in the conference. So but in order to be good, you got to beat the good teams.
Yeah.
So it's something that we're looking forward to as a challenge. We got some scrimmages coming up as well too against some top end talent from Maine, New Hampshire.
Oh, you guys go out of state for that?
Yes, we do for those scrimmages. Yeah, we're playing York, Maine. Exeter's coming over, who won the state championship last year.
Good test.
Yeah, so it'll be a test. And the kids are looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's one thing I never did in high school. Maybe just being
because
you're here. It was Danvers. I wasn't too far, but Newburyport's 20 minutes closer north.
But the other part of that too is their fields aren't ready yet up in Maine.
Oh, there's still snow.
They still have snow, so that's why they're interested in coming.
That makes complete sense. Yeah, so they want to come this way, get some action, and because they must have a different structure of season, right? They can't start at the same time, can they?
They start April.
Okay.
They start. I think they actually start training in April, spring training. So we're 2 weeks ahead of them.
Gotcha.
And then. They, like in Maine, they actually give them spring break off. They don't try to schedule any games for that whole week or anything like that. So I think they play a little longer in the season as well, too.
They must almost go into the summer.
They go right till in June, and before they even start their states.
I never thought about that, though. You're right. I mean, I know my family was up skiing this weekend up at Shawnee Peak, so that makes. And they said there was still a lot of snow on the ground up there. So that's good.
Better up there than here.
Yes, we've been pretty lucky here throughout the winter. So, although we were just saying Saturday has some snowflakes in the forecast, so we're not quite out of the woods yet. But what do you? So you guys are all the fields now old school grass fields? I know, like there you get a lot of turf, right?
It's not. Well, only one. Not grass. I mean, infield softball's out dirt.
Yeah, outfield grass though.
So yeah. There's. Let me see. Linfield has turf. And I think they might be the only team that we play that has turf.
Really?
Grass. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I know you guys got those beautiful facilities over there in Newburyport for football and all that. How's the lights and stuff? You guys got to play these games in the daytime, right?
We play in the daytime. We're over at Pioneer Field, Penn. So we play out the daytime right after school.
Yeah.
Start 4:15, depend. We used to start at 3:40. It all depends on the busing.
Yep.
Every school system here, I don't know if you've talked to any coaches, the busing shortages.
Yes.
And so you could plan to have a bus come at 2:45 and be there at 3:30.
That's you guys are still battling that?
We are still battling.
Yeah, it's like a statewide thing. Just
it's too bad, and it hurts the sports teams a lot because they start games later.
Yeah.
And especially this time you're chasing the shade as well too. So
yeah. All these, we always do these, in the news business, we always do these studies and we, some polling company comes out and says kids aren't sleeping enough. And there's always that push to start school later, which I've always argued, if you started school later, I'd just go to bed later. And that's how that would happen. But the big reason is that to not do it around here is sports, right? I mean, you guys need those hours of sunlight.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
They don't start till 8:50. We are Newburyport is the latest school to get out in the Cal.
Okay.
So we're 2:43. They get out of school.
You guys start at 8:50 and go to 2:43. Is that
8:15 they start?
8:15. Okay. Yeah.
And so then, whereas I've come to my field so many times, and the visiting team will be there before my girls.
Yeah.
So
and you guys are hosting.
We are hosting. We are the home team, and the visitor team is there.
Yeah.
So and the kids are trying to get ready, and it does. You can't just base it off of sports, but you are correct when you say that you could start. The kids are going to stay up as late as they stay up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, I have always thought that whenever they give you the sleep studies, that kids, if you just started school later, man, I'm not exactly sure how it's going to translate.
They'll be on their phones or whenever.
Yeah, no, it's very true. It's always an interesting
Or they'll
thing.
be doing their homework too.
Are you guys able to finish? I mean, everybody knows softball can be, depending on what kind of game you got going on, it can be a long game. Do you ever battle the sunlight?
We really don't.
No, okay.
Softball really goes an hour and a half to 2 hours at the max.
Pretty clock.
7 innings.
Yeah.
The pitching is very good now, so you're not running into. Once in a while, you might get a game that goes a little bit longer, but you also have a 12-1 run rule after the 4.5 inning.
Okay.
So it can
more brisk than baseball, though.
Way more brisk than baseball. There's no leading off the base, so you're not worrying about the pitcher throwing back to first base to get the guy off. They can go to the pitcher releases the ball. So it does take less time.
I did always like that. I'm thinking about my sister played softball, and it was kind of like, ball hits the catcher's mitt, right back to the pitcher, let's go again. It's a little bit...
Absolutely. So that's why we have a lot of former baseball umps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they'll come over and do softball because it's quicker, and then they'll go to the men's leagues and ump those games.
I used to do that. I used to do the umpiring. I did a lot of softball for a while. How's your relationship with umpires? They're all fantastic,
they're
right?
Wonderful. they're fantastic. They're good.
Yeah.
We have 2 each game, so balls and strikes are what they are. You just got to figure out the strike zone and go from there. Every once in a while, you're going to get bad calls. You can't lose your mind, and you just move on.
Do you ever have to have that talk with the kids? I mean, I don't know how fiery high school kids get with umpires, but it happens.
They can get fiery. It can get in their heads quickly. Pitchers in particular, because they're dealing with that more so in catchers. And I just tell them, you got to figure it out. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't argue with the ump because they're the ultimate decision maker. So it is what it is.
What about parents in that regard? I did a Little League. Let me just interject here for a second. I did a Little League. I swear. I mean, it was almost worse than high school.
Sorry,
I know. I loved it. I did it for many, many years, and I was pretty good at it. But I remember coming back from college, and I was going to be done doing it. And the president of the league called me. I had a kid bail on me for opening day. 3 games. I got nobody to do it. Is there any chance? I know you said no, and I hadn't seen a ball. I wasn't planning on seeing a ball. Went down there. I said I could use a little, money for college. Did the game. Probably didn't have my best strike zone, and they were all over me. I remember thinking, I was like, is this how it's always been?
It's still that way. It's funny because they asked me to have some of my players come over and ump the younger girls.
Yeah.
And I have a couple do it, and they come back, Coach, I don't want to do this anymore. The parents are brutal.
It's tough, right?
High school parents, you're always going to get a few of them. Not every game. Once in a while, if they see something they don't like or they don't particularly care for an ump. But Newburyport parents are pretty good. They're fairly respectful. I try to control that a little bit as well too. We don't want any parents being kicked out of the field.
Yeah. I know it is funny. It's almost like the parents going to get through that phase of Little League being a parent because the younger levels for some reason it is tough.
Yeah.
I remember taking my mask off one time and I told the coach, I had done it for like 10 years. I did it when I played 11 years old all the way through into my late 20s and mid 20s. And I remember taking the mask off and looking at this guy and going, do you want to be the first guy I ever throw out of a game? Like, I'm just, like, seriously. And he wouldn't stop either. I was this close. A second away from tossing.
I can tell you stories. I've done it for a long time. I've seen coaches or parents punch ump in the face.
Oh my goodness, really?
They harass.
High school game or
high school game?
Yeah.
Wow. Game, yeah. And so that parent was promptly arrested, of course.
Your side or the other side?
It was the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are some people that get really carried away, which is too bad because the children see that.
Yeah.
And so how do they react?
Yeah.
Sometimes you lead by example.
That's the thing, right? Because it's like not everybody in the world knows you can't do that. And it's these people, maybe not the one that punches in the face, but I've seen like very normal, very likable people in real life. And I've seen them at games and I don't even recognize them. I'm like, my God, like completely lost themselves over this 11-year-old. It's unbelievable. It's a fascinating social experiment, I think. But.
Yes, and and it changes from sports. You got hockey parents, you got basketball. Basketball parents are right on. The girls sit on the front row of the bench, right in the pew. So it's tough, and so it's been pretty good so far here in Newburyport.
Who's that coach? Oh, he's coaching UMass now. The basketball coach at UMass. He was coaching. Oh, big guy. I forget his name. The UMass basketball coach, though, whatever team he was coaching before that, had a great speech. Took a question in like a post game.
I saw that.
And just went off on something, a tangent. And so let me tell you, I'm doing my kids. I want to talk about something. I'm doing my kids' Saturday youth game, and just sitting there. And I don't talk. They want to talk to me. Go talk to your coach. You know, your coach is putting in the time. You go talk to your coach, not me. But he's like, I see the parents on the referees, and he goes, "You think that referee cares who wins this sixth grade game here? You guys trying to make $35, on the side to do whatever." And it's a great spiel. If you ever have a chance to,
I have seen that.
Yeah,
I have seen that.
It's great. The current UMass basketball coach.
His name escapes my mind as well too.
He's a good one. He coached at Kansas State too, and all that. He's a good. Hopefully, he turns that program around. I'd like to root for UMass basketball.
I was talking to my brother about that. Remember when UMass was really good and BC was good?
Yep.
I mean, the NCAA tournament was spectacular.
Oh, so much fun, right?
It was awesome.
I
remember seeing them play.
Marcus Camby.
Yeah, Marcus Camby, UMass over at the Centrum, watching them play.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Was that always the Mullins back in the day?
Oh, at UMass, yes.
Yeah, I think that's because that place was rowdy there. Frank Martin, I just looked it up. Frank Martin.
Yep,
that was the speech. I mean, that's actually that was the era when I got into college basketball. Was the UMass good? Boston College was good for a lot of years. They used to play at the Garden together.
They used to play at the Garden. I mean, I remember I went to the NCAA first tournament round when they had it at the Centrum in Worcester.
Wow.
That was basketball junkies heaven.
Yeah.
Games Thursday, Friday.
To go to 2 games. You pay for 2 games, right?
I went to every game.
You went to every game? No
awesome.
kidding.
Yeah.
Was it? That's an expensive ticket, isn't it?
It was.
It
was well worth it.
You're a college basketball guy. I like that. My favorite was we used to do I'm a Big East guy, Providence, and so we used to do the Big East tournament every year. My college guys, we'd all go down and root for Providence. So that was always a good take.
They didn't show well.
They lost their coach and.
Yeah, I know.
It's been a tough week for Providence basketball. Sorry to all my Friars out there. But back to softball and back to spring sports again. Coach Gillespe here, Newburyport softball, getting ready. What's the big? Anything you're excited about? Intangibles? I know you got a lot of the returning people from last year, but is there a youngster or something different this year?
I mean, we have a couple young girls coming in that could add. One of them's a lefty batter, which we don't have a lefty batter on our team right now.
Oh, that's kind of unusual.
And she's a good athlete. Besides that, I mean, just the maturation of these girls from being, some of these kids were with me in 8th grade, and now seeing them now sophomores and juniors, it's quite exciting, their ability to progress as far as they have.
Is that always I always think, because I've never coached like a high school sport or taught in the schools or anything. I've only left the schools and moved on. I always think that must be a weird thing for like a coach that's been there for a while. Like these kids are such a part of your lives for that time span, 3-4 years, whatever it is, and then they just move on and go. And I'm sure some of them come back and say hello, but it must be kind of weird, like just kind of saying goodbye to a senior class and welcoming in new freshmen. Like it almost plays tricks on the brain a little bit.
It does. I mean, I have kids that one of the things that players should remember is that you will remember your coaches more often than you remember who your teachers were.
Yeah.
The coaches have, and that's a responsibility as a coach, to realize how much of an influence you have on these kids. I'm still in contact with some of my former players that have kids now, which is mind-blowing in itself. I mean, but, so it's good to see that. I always tell them, these girls, you will always be part of my family. Yeah. Because you do this for such a long time, and it's so exciting for that springtime to get together. And these kids are what make me excited about doing this again. Yeah. Their vitality and their excitement, their laughter, it's awesome. And it's a commitment too. I mean, I hope that the parents that of these kids understand how much time you put in. I mean, when I know it's a one spring season, but it's an everyday deal, really, right? We run. We'll do practices 6 days a week. I try to give them Saturday off so the girls want to work. Yep. Or do whatever. So it's 6. It's 6 days, and you're as a coach, you're there an hour before, an hour after the practice. There's a lot of things in it, and we don't do it for the money, that's for sure. Yeah, we do it for the love of the sport and the love of the game. And softball has taken a beating in the last few years. Like lacrosse has come in. Yeah, and I love lacrosse; it's a great sport. But a lot of the girls who would have played softball could have drifted to that sport as well.
Yeah.
So it almost was becoming a niche sport, and that has obviously 31 kids on the team.
Remind me, is tennis spring for the
Tennis
girls?
is spring.
That's okay.
Tennis is spring, and they've also, I think they've had the last 4 years, 40 girls go out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say something on Newburyport. Tremendous amount of student activity in sports.
Yeah.
I think they're at like 72%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's a compliment to the athletic director. He does a great job.
Yeah, all you coaches tend to give Kyle Hudson a big thumbs up in that regard.
Hey, I'm on my fields.
Yeah.
I mean, they have one guy that drags the fields, and he gets them out there. And it's hard because we're off campus.
Yeah.
And when I first came here in 2016, the varsity was starting. The game was in Cashman.
Yeah.
And the JV team was over in Perkins Park, which is on the other. So how do you get JV kids over there?
Yeah.
And I said, well, we don't even have dugouts where we are. The fence is 240 yards versus 200.
Yeah.
So we got to make a change. So he said, well, let's try it. We'll go to Pioneer first, and we'll work that. And we walked every space on campus to find room for a softball field.
Oh, wow.
And there was just nowhere to put it. And so we've been putting money into Pioneer along with the Pioneer League, which has a good group of parents now involved as well, too, that are committed to softball. And so that's great.
Now he's just working on that 5th tennis court now, right?
Oh, yeah.
What a pain that is.
Yeah.
I used to play tennis. I know how long a day can be if you only have 4 courts.
Yeah. And think about it. They have 40 girls on those teams.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know how they do it.
Good team, too.
Yeah, very good team.
Yeah.
I mean, think of the winter sports for the teams this year, how well they did.
Oh, I know. Crazy. When you're talking 40 kids on tennis, you got to be trying to recruit some of those for softball, right? I'm just kidding. I'm a tennis person. I love the sport, but
I did. Absolutely. I lost some girls that I thought were going to play softball and they were going to play tennis, and one of them turned out to be one of the best tennis players on the team, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But there's years that we'll have more kids and they'll have less, and it's as long as the kids are out there doing stuff.
I see the interest, like the baseball's trying to make all these changes, right? With pitch clocks and mostly all efforts just to speed up the game. And obviously softball doesn't quite have that speed of game issue, but the goal of just getting eyes on those 2 sports, right? Baseball and softball. I wonder, people used to tell me when lacrosse, I was in high school and lacrosse was going to take over, and I don't think it actually did. I think baseball and softball are still in fine places. But what's your feel for like the kids and the love of the game? Is it still, the passion still there?
The passion's there. I mean, I had a nucleus of 12 girls that come back and played 4 years. I mean, they played 5 years with us, and they played all together through the Pioneer League. So these kids are totally committed. And I got a young group of kids that are the same way. It's great if they're excited about doing it. That makes my job easier as well too.
Yeah.
In those who are playing lacrosse or track, they're excited about their sport. So whatever works is fantastic.
And you're just happy they're out there doing stuff.
Yes.
Seniors, captains. Did you already name captains, or
I did.
We
named previous year.
You want to name drop them, or
sure. We have Maddie McLeod. She's a senior. Aaliyah Quintanilli.
Tough name.
She's a senior as well too. Neve Morrissey is a senior, and then we have Grace Bibb is a junior.
Gotcha. I'm always curious because coaches do have different answers to this. I know there's probably not one simple answer, but what is a coach always looking for in a captain? Yeah, there's a lot to it. Right?
No, because in my opinion, the kids vote on the captains.
Oh, okay.
It's the way the school sets it up.
Gotcha.
So I've always previously, in my previous careers, captains rise to the top. Mm-hmm. There's been teams I haven't named captains before. And so sometimes it could be a popularity contest, sometimes not. I think the girls did a very good job with the captains this year. Yeah. They're all worthy of it. So.
They usually get it right?
Not always.
Not always. Yeah.
Neither are the coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, it's blame goes all around. Sometimes it's just a mix that just doesn't work.
Yeah. How's in-game coaching with softball? I mean, it's one of those sports where you do have quite a pulse on the game,
Yeah, you have to be sharp. I mean, there's a lot of things that happens fast and can come at it. You got to keep the kids aware of what's going on. Base running is a tricky thing.
Yeah.
A lot of these kids aren't that experienced at it, so it's hard to get them moving around the bases quickly.
Yeah.
Just techniques and things like that, and keeping the kids upbeat.
Yeah.
You know, and we haven't had a problem with that yet. So I think it'll be another good year as far as that goes.
I'm always saying, what were the COVID years like too? Going through that,
we lost the season.
Yeah,
they didn't play. Then the next year we started. I don't think we even started spring. We didn't have tryouts until April 1st.
Yeah.
To push the season back and condense the season, we just played the Cal. Umpire was like 10 feet behind the catcher.
Oh yeah.
The girls were wearing masks, but the girls were used to wearing the mask by that point in time. It was tricky.
Yeah.
You know, we had some kids get sick, and one's sick. You know, it could be a revolving door as far as that goes. So
yeah,
no fun.
Yeah,
it was a tough for everyone involved, and thankfully that seems to be in the past.
Is there more of an emphasis that, I mean, I know there is in general in just 2023 culture, but coming out of that, especially this batch of kids did live through a interesting time period. I mean, and that age group can be, it can be an emotional time anyway. Is there kind of are coaches almost just keeping a little bit of an extra eye on just like mental health and just,
It's our responsibility to watch these kids.
Yeah.
There are times you see kids that can be down or less focused or missing practice or doing things. So you do try to keep an eye on it. It's our responsibility. It's like I said, I care for all these kids that come out to play, like my family. So you want to make sure they're doing the best, and it's the best fit for them.
Coaching staff, you got some good assistants there you want to talk about?
I do. I have a new group of assistants this year. I had former players that coached me last year, and they had to go to the real world and get a job.
It happens.
So it happens. I have a young guy, Mike Jensen, who's going to be my assistant coach.
Okay.
And then we have Josh Hickey, who's actually a teacher over at Knock Middle School, 6th grade teacher. He's going to be the JV coach. All right. So they both seem very excited about it, and we're ready to roll this year.
Cool. All right, Coach Bob Gillespe, Newburyport softball. We got to do some rapid fire with you real quick. Because first time on the show, you got to answer some quick questions. First thing that comes to mind, very random, very easy, but we got to learn about you a little bit. But one last one before we get to that. What is your best? We'll give two. What are people going to see when they come out to watch Newburyport softball this year? And what is your best advice to like the 6th, 7th grader that wants to play for you someday?
Okay, I think what you're going to see when you come out to the team this year, excitement. We play the ball. We play the game very well. It's a high level. It's a high level of energy, a high level of skill. Come on out. I mean, it could be the 2 hours, the best hours of your day. So
yeah, look at that.
To my advice to young kids, stick with it. Do not get frustrated. Softball and baseball. Hitting a baseball is, you play tennis. You had a nice big racket. Hitting a ball is one of the most difficult things that someone can do. When you're considered the best hitter, when you fail 7 out of 10 times.
Right.
So stick with it. Get dad out there. Play catch. Get dad, mom, whomever.
Yep.
And just keep at it. You will get better. And watch the game. My most favorite moments on TV is watching the College World Series, Softball World Series. The level, and those kids make mistakes.
Yeah.
They make mistakes, but it's spectacular.
All right. There you go. All right. Coach Gillespe, rapid fire. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. First thing that comes to your mind, easy first. Favorite food?
Pizza.
Favorite movie?
Godfather 2.
Ooh, Godfather 2. Okay. Favorite musician?
I'm going to go Kenny Chesney.
Kenny Chesney, all right. Favorite team to beat in the Cal?
Triton.
Triton, yeah, that's a common Newburyport answer, right? Favorite city, not Newburyport, not where you've lived. Favorite city to visit?
I love Boston.
Boston, yeah, Boston's a good one. Yeah. All right, and let's go last but not least. What is the best career advice you ever received?
You love your job. You never work a day.
There you go. And that's why he's coaching. Longest tenured coach in the Cape Ann League. There you go. Coach, thanks for coming in. Have a great season here. I'm excited for you guys.
Come watch us, really.
Absolutely. Go check them out. First, the opener is?
We are in North Reading on the 3rd or 4th.
Okay. And then second or third game, you're back home?
Back home.
Come watch some softball in Newburyport.
Yeah, schedule's online.
Let's go find it. Very good, Coach Gillespe, Drew Moholland. Thank you, everybody. Sarah, Sarah Hayden, Sarah Blackstone, the whole crew here, our small but mighty crew. We appreciate you. Happy spring, everybody. It's going to get warmer. Here we go. All right. Peace.